Funding for Mastodon Minutes is provided by the Indiana-Purdue Student Government Association.
On the broadcast today, the student government election season is beginning. We'll let you know just who is running.
And grab your suitcase, spring break is just around the corner.
We'll have travel tips for you also this week ahead.
And we'll check out just what students have planned on our very special spring break episode.
All of this today on Mastodon Minutes News, along with a recap of IPFW sports with Josh VanCleave. IPSGA announces the candidates for this year's student government elections. I'm Andy Starwich.
And I'm Nick Lawrence. For more on this now, we send it over to Tim Zink.
Well, Nick and Andy, the names have been certified, and there are 11 candidates vying for 4 positions with IPFW Student Government, IPSGA. And here's the list. For president, we have Joe Minzy and Matthew Bocart challenging incumbent Terrell Lynn. For vice president of legislation, we have D'Angelo Levet and Joe Magistri challenging incumbent David Dressler. For vice president of finance, we have Cody Tinold challenging incumbent Eric Smith. For Vice President of Programming, we have Wesley Hafferton and Marcy Sullivan challenging incumbent Nikita Matthews. Stay tuned to Mastodon Minutes News for continuing coverage of this year's election cycle, from coverage of the candidates and the debates all the way to election week during spring fling in April.
Well, thank you, Tim. It sounds like it's going to be an exciting election season once again here at IPFW.
Looking to fill out that class schedule for the summer or fall? The online schedule of classes is now available via your My IPFW account. Priority registration for degree candidates, graduate students, and seniors begins March 21st.
IPFW students participating in commencement can now buy caps and gowns for the ceremony on May 11th. All eligible students participating in the ceremony must purchase a cap and gown from the bookstore before April 15th. If you plan on wearing a recycled gown, be sure to have the style and color checked at the bookstore or at the academic ceremonies office.
And moving on, spring break is less than 2 weeks away, and I hear that you are now the travel expert.
Yes, I did some researching for our students, and I came up with 10 tips that they can use while traveling somewhere. With snow still on the ground, it's hard to believe spring break is less than 2 weeks away. For 1 week, we get to drop our books and forget about studying. With some students going to a warmer destination, here are 10 tips to make your trip as safe and worry-free as possible. First, do your homework. Know as much as possible about the city you are visiting and some recent scams that might have happened to people while visiting there. Pack lightly. Start with a smaller suitcase to limit yourself. Pack only the clothes you will need for your trip. Also pack clothes that can be worn for a day of sightseeing or a night out on the town. Use all the space possible. Put socks or other small items inside of shoes, and even though you're going somewhere where it might be warm, pack a pair of jeans and a sweatshirt. Remember the 3-1-1 rule if you plan on flying. Liquids or gels must be 3 ounces or smaller in a 1-quart size clear plastic bag, and only 1 bag per carry-on. All other liquids or gels must be checked. If you can weigh your suitcase at home, do so to avoid oversized baggage fees. Also, have a contact. Make sure you leave information for somebody to reach you in case of an emergency. Leave valuables at home. Leave expensive items like jewelry and too much cash at home, and lock up the valuables you do bring. Never leave items unattended at the beach or pool. Always have your ID with you, and not just your Mastodon card. It's also important to stick with your friends, especially when going out at night. Be a stranger. Don't give out information such as what hotel you're staying at or where you'll be going. Drink responsibly. If you're 21 or older, monitor yourself and never drink and drive. Don't hitchhike. Use only hotel-recommended shuttles or reputable taxi services. Never get into a car with strangers. And finally, follow your instinct. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it. Now you're ready for takeoff.
Well, Nick, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I'm glad you mentioned, Andy, it's not a bad idea to pack a small first aid kit. You never know what might happen, and some sunscreen. You don't want to come back with a burn. Well, let's find out what some of our fellow Mastodons have planned for spring break with our very own Alyssa Roberts.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Roberts with Mastodon Minutes, just coming around the streets asking people about their spring break this year. Hi, and what's your name?
Amber Gerardo.
It's nice to meet you. You got any plans for the spring break?
Nope, just picking up some extra hours and hanging out with friends.
Great, so you're gonna make a couple extra bucks and then you might be able to do something this summer, huh?
Yep.
Honestly, I just plan on staying in town. Don't really have a lot of money, so probably hang out with people that come back from college and hang out, relax.
What are you doing for spring break this year?
Oh, I just moved this weekend, so I'm planning to be cleaning up, arranging everything, making sure everything is okay before I come back for the semester.
Just unpacking and settling in then, huh?
Yes, that's what I'll be doing.
That's always a good thing. You'll have a free week to do it.
This year I'm just staying in Fort Wayne, gonna enjoy some family time and some friends who come back from colleges that are around here like Ball State and IU. So just gonna hang out and chill all spring break.
Great, I hope it's great weather for you.
Probably 30s, but that's Fort Wayne for you.
Yep.
I'm going to Florida with my family.
We're out in Florida.
Panama City Beach.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah.
You've been there before?
Yes, we
Been there
used to go all the time, yeah.
You having
Yep.
a good time?
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, good for you. Glad somebody's finally doing something.
Yeah.
We're going to Panama City Beach.
Panama City Beach?
Yeah.
Have you ever been there before?
Yeah, we went last year.
You like it?
Yeah.
Are you 21?
Yes.
So you're able to go and party and have fun then?
Yes.
Great, I bet you have a great time. Hi, what are you guys doing for spring break this year?
I'm just going to sleep and eat.
Just gonna watch a lot of TV.
Sleep and eat and TV sounds great.
It's wonderful.
Maybe pick up a couple extra hours at work or anything?
Probably not. I'm probably just going to sleep.
I'll try, but I can't make any promises.
Sleeping's always fun. I hope you have good weather for it, so thank you.
No problem.
Well, it seems that everybody's staying home this year. Not very many people are going out, and if they are, it's Panama City Beach is the place to be.
And it looks like, despite the cold weather we've been having, many people will choose to stay home. Well, speaking of taking a trip, let's travel to the land of athletics with Josh VanCleave.
Thanks, Andy and Nick. Who's ready for some sports, ladies and gents? Men's volleyball had a rough week last week. They fell to Lewis 1-3, but they look to bounce back when they take on George Mason on Friday and then Sacred Heart on Saturday. Let's go to men's tennis. They looked good last Friday when they faced off against Chicago State and St. Francis of PA. They gave Chicago a whooping 7-0 and then sent St. Francis packing with the win 6-1. But the next day wasn't the same story. Detroit brought their gloomy weather down south because it was a gloomy day for the Dons. They lost 1-6. The men head out to New York for a 3-day tour of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as they take on St. Bonaventure, Niagara, and Colgate. On the women's side, they face off against Chicago State and St. Francis of PA too. Just like the men, the women put on a clinic against both, beating Chicago 4-3 and beating St. Francis 7-0, but they lost a tough one to Western Illinois. The ladies are on tour with the men as they head out to New York to take on Bucknell, St. Bonaventure, and Colgate. In the world of basketball, the Lady Dons performed beautifully as they dominated North Dakota State 79-46, but unfortunately for the seniors, on senior night, the ladies came up short, losing a heartbreaker to South Dakota 47-50. This week is March, so you know what that means. It's tournament time. The ladies are sitting pretty as they're favored in the tournament. The quarterfinals start on the 5th and continue until the 8th when the championship game is played. Switching to the men, they had a senior night on Saturday and they played outstanding, sending the seniors off with a win against North Dakota State, beating them 73-61. The Summer League tournament is the same for the men as the quarterfinals start on the 5th in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Make sure to check out the Facebook page for updates on the tournament. I'm Josh VanCleave. Back to you, Andy and Nick.
Thanks, Josh. March Madness is here once again. Hopefully that'll bring some warmer weather. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. I'm Nick Lawrence.
And I'm Andy Starwich. Thank you for watching Mastodon Minutes News. As always, Mastodon Minutes News is always at your fingertips, all day, every day at facebook.com/Mastodon Minutes.
And on behalf of our entire news team here at Mastodon Minutes, have a great break. More programming from CATV is coming up next. Thanks for watching.